Welcome back to the Thoughtful Advocate. So, today I'm going to be talking about something pretty heavy, and it literally just happened to me over the weekend, and this is tough. But I feel like I'm feeling both as a mom and an employee. Basically, I'm talking about how I feel like I'm feeling two jobs. The first one as a mom, and the second one as a working. And yeah, this is tough because last night I was literally crying 2 to 3 hours and had no more tears to cry. And I literally just went back to work like 12 days ago. So basically, what happened is my baby's like about 10 and a half months now, and our nanny quit, like on the spot. And we just had a 2 day notice that, hey, another family hired me, so I'm going. We pretty sure we gave her heads up that I needed her till January 30th before I go on my mat leave again for the second baby. And yeah, I don't know. I think someone else booked her for December, which I swear we did. And it's just like a rude awakening. And I've been so stressed about it. And I just feel like I'm failing at everything. So if you're a working mom, this is for you too. And I wanted to film this because I think there's something very, I'm getting like acid reflux. Oh my God. Okay. I wanted to film this because I feel like there's something so valuable about being vulnerable and showing some of our worst moments. And we all have them, especially as new parents and parents in general. So it may as well share with people who are curious about becoming a parent, or maybe is one and just needs to feel like they're not alone in this. And you definitely are not, even though it can feel very isolating, especially if you don't have a lot of friends who are parents already. It can be hard. And this is definitely one of the harder weekends of my life. I'm a new mom. Two, I just went back to work like 12 days ago. So I've been working for almost 2 weeks. And I feel like everything's falling apart already. Our new nanny quit within 12 days. And she literally sent us a text over the weekend saying, hey, sorry, someone booked me for Tuesdays and December, which is literally, and it's okay. You could have told us like way ahead of time because I don't know like how we're supposed to find one, like how to find a replacement in time. And yeah, I was crying last night for 2 to 3 hours because I don't know what to do next. I'm like freaking out. And she sends this text like so late. And it's just hard because it was interesting because at first she was saying, oh, I got booked for just Tuesdays. And I was like, okay, I don't know how I'm going to figure that out because I already used up basically on my vacation and I was on my wellness days for Mondays to take off because she doesn't work Mondays. So I don't know. It's been weird and no clear communication at all. She is a good nanny. Like she really does try her best and she even helps us clean, but I just don't know what happened. Honestly, she probably got higher paying nanny gig, which I understand, and probably with the easier baby because I think babies like around this age past the 6 months mark are they have separation anxiety. And that's completely normal, but it's just so much harder. And plus he's crawling and just going everywhere. So it's not easy. And yeah, babies at this age, around 10 months, are going through separation anxiety. And basically they're learning to trust their caregivers and they're very attached to their primary caregivers, which makes sense because that's like their safe space. They know they can go to that person to be put to sleep, to eat, changing diapers, and just to feel like loved, which is really nice. And they're forming very big feelings. I'm sure it's not easy for them. In the first week back at work, it was brutal because they never really met. Like we hired her for the Friday before when I was not working just to test out and seeing like it was going pretty well. Like he even let her hold him and she was a complete stranger and that was pretty rare. But yeah, when I was back at work and I can't hold him all day because I'm like literally on the computer taking calls and like calling out and trying to do my work and typing. If he sits there, he like tries to smash the computer and type himself. But yeah, it's just hard. Like I can't just have him on my lap all the time. I wish I could. But yeah, basically once she came and he started to notice that I was working more, he started like crying, like screaming, crying for me. And like, for example, I'd be in the basement working and the nanny and him would be upstairs and he would just scream, cry. And I'm literally trying to hold it together because I'm like in a meeting. But I also want to cry because this is hard. Like we've been together 24/7 for the past 10 months. And now all of a sudden it's a huge change. Like I just have to be glued to my computer all day and basically ignore him while I do my work. And someone else has to watch him and play with him and feed him. So, of course, this is a huge adjustment for the both of us and not easy. But at the same time, I am very lucky because I get to work from home. But a lot of people have been telling me that it is very difficult to work from home and, have a nanny because your kid will always want to go to you. But I would feel so guilty to send them to daycare because he would just sit in the corner and start crying and scream and not eat or sleep because we've done this before. Me and John have left the house and his mom was so nice to babysit him, but he would like scream cry for hours on it. Yeah, it took a long time for him to get used to her. She would play as Rachel, and that would definitely help. But I just can't imagine him being at daycare, and obviously they still have their hands full with other children, and him just crying and not eating or sleeping, and it just breaks my heart. Like, I don't think a little kid should go through that, and a little baby. Yeah, yeah. But the second week, I didn't really have to make calls, which is great because I was put on a different project, which I'm so grateful for. And that made it a lot easier for one. And two, like he was getting better with her. Like he would cry in the beginning, like in the mornings when she had to take him, but then he would get better and they would play and stuff. And then he'd get cranky again, of course, during when he needs nap. So I would take my break, like one break in the morning, let him sleep, and then one break in the afternoon to put him to sleep again. And it was just exhausting because I don't even have a break myself. So it's like mentally and physically, yeah, it's like mentally a lot. But yeah, it is hard when he's awake because he'll usually try to go to me. If he can't go to me, like start crying with the nanny. But he really did get a lot better. And especially when they went outside and played, we each year last trip upstairs, which put my mind so much at ease. So I was like, oh my gosh, he's finally getting used to the nanny. I have hope. Like one day he's going to be completely used to her. And maybe he'll even let her put him to sleep. But that was like all ripped away in one single text. Yeah. And it's hard because when you're back at work for the first time, you're relearning everything again because it's been like almost a year. So everything is slow. And I notice it's dark in here. Okay, so it's almost 5 and it's already getting dark outside because it's the winter in Canada. And yeah, just have to turn on lights. So it's blinding me. I don't know how long I can stare at this for. I don't remember what I'm saying. And at the same time, like I can't be the mom I was when that was basically my only job on mat leave was to take care of him. Looks like I'm doing 2 jobs at once. And honestly, I'm struggling. I kept telling John, I don't know if I can do this anymore. Like, this is really hard. And it's only been like 2 weeks. And I know I just literally have to survive and stick it out until January 30th. It's been hard. And this is another huge setback because I literally had some peace of mind knowing that, hey, someone's here to help me and take care of Ace and even help us clean because cleaning has been so hard. I'm like 24 weeks pregnant. So I'm like out of breath half the time. And yeah, like most of the time I'm like stressed, exhausted, and it's just hard. And I think to make everything harder, like sure, we could find a daycare, but in Canada, it's not that easy. I remember I was looking at daycares, like literally when I knew I was pregnant, because I was like, okay, the wait lists are long. And I should have done it 10 years ago when John and I first started dating, because the wait lists are insane. Like literally, there's a daycare near us that just opened, and its wait list is in 2028. So no one is going to need it until then. And yeah, we're basically screwed because there was like no other daycares and that it's hard. And like I said before, like Ace's grandma, he didn't sleep or eat. So in daycare away from me and just crying and not sleeping or eating in a corner by himself for like hours. And I just would feel so guilty. And like, I don't understand why we have to put our children through this. Like, we are very lucky in Canada to get a year off. I did have to cut mine short because I had to work. I had to make up the ERA hours for my next mat leave, which is consecutive. But most people get like a full year off. Yeah, just figure it out. But I just wish like we could get enough time with our kids to fully be involved with them and take care of them till that age has passed, which I think is like 2. So I think Ace is lucky in a lot of ways for I get to spend another year with him. But his brother, on the other hand, probably only gets a year. So we'll see. Fingers crossed. And yeah, I definitely don't want Ace to be all abandoned. We send him like away for daycare. But a lot of people say that's like the only way they can work. They don't have to hear their kids crying. But that's just so difficult. And I really don't want to rush into something just because society says I should, even if I could. But yeah, there's so much struggle. I feel the pressure at work and like needing care and also just there being no perfect solution, basically. And what I'm going through is really just a common story and the working mom's everyday life. Like literally millions of moms face this issue every day. In Canada specifically, around 65% of working moms report facing mental health strain between balancing the work life and their family. And over half of the parents in the US say that their working schedules clash with their parenting schedules. And that's so true. Taking a child and finding reliable childcare, it can be so difficult, and affordable ones too. So it's just difficult all around. And yet working moms report like higher stress, a lower sense of control, and just fewer opportunities than moms who are not parents. And unfortunately, mental load of everything, being both the planner and the organizer, the home and your child's, basically just all falls on mom. And it can be really difficult because there's this idea of being a perfect mom where you're that hustler, go-getter, working girl, but you're also a full-time mom who's supposed to be 100% there for your child. And it's, I don't know how society expects us to do both. Like, back in the day, you were just expected to be a housewife, which obviously has negative connotations and issues that, like, you could focus on one thing. But now it's like you have to do both, otherwise we can't afford to live. Right. So when I feel like I'm failing, it's not a personal weakness. It's a real part of the systemic struggle that all working moms unfortunately face. Like, we're literally trying to do it all. But when I did post the video last night about me struggling with the nanny quitting on us abruptly, a lot of people actually reached out to me. As I said, a lot of people actually reached out to me by email or DM, and that was actually really nice. So I'm going to read a message I got. I got an email from my homeroom teacher. Her name is, I don't know, I'll just say her first name, Sandy, because I don't know if she wants me to share that, but I wanted to share her full name. So yeah, she was my homeroom teacher, and she was super nice, and I had a lot of fun. So anyways, I'm very appreciative that she reached out to me, and she does actually, like, while I was posting a lot, she was constantly like either liking or commenting, and she's been very supportive, and I'm very appreciative of you, Sandy, so thank you. But yeah, I think I'm just gonna read it straight up. So basically she said, I'm gonna tell you that you're doing great, even if you don't feel like it or believe it. I think I definitely needed to hear that. I know I'm doing the best, that's for sure, but I definitely needed to hear that because it's been rough. Like I said, I feel like I'm failing like 2 jobs. And she says, like, the lack of sleep and the hormones are probably preventing you from seeing all of that. And yes, that's probably a part of it too. Because, yeah, I have the night shifts with Ace, so I don't get a proper sleep because he does wake up at night, and usually have to feed him to sleep. And apparently that's normal too. I was talking to my dentist, and she was like, yeah, the only way I survived going back to work was feeding him to sleep. It's like, okay, good, because I do that too. You were never meant to do it all or all by yourselves. And that new moms used to have like a whole tribe to get them through it. And I'm guessing she's talking about like back in the day, like new moms just had one job to focus on. And of course it had a lot of difficulties as well, relying on someone else, a man, for your income, and them looking down on you for being a home and caretaker. It's hard. But of course we have our modern day struggles where we both a working mom, being both someone who takes home income and a mom also has its struggles. And yeah, definitely our weird society. Definitely set expectations where moms are expected to do it all. They're expected to cook, clean, bring your child to soccer, and be amazing at your job, your office job. And that's just not realistic. There's only so much you could do, and that's why it's key to have a partner that will support you and that understands and does their equal load of taking care of the baby and does the equal share of taking care of your kids. And she says, if you don't hear anything else, hear this, which is also very real, because when you're in that despair stage of feeling like everything's falling apart and there's no hope, it's very easy to just look at all the negatives. But she says that society's expectations are real and they should never be your goals. And I totally agree, because they're unrealistic and like we just do a rest. She says, okay, so how do you get through this as best you can, which I think we're all doing, and to focus in the moment, which is great advice, because when you keep thinking and worrying about the future, like I was doing last night, it can be very overwhelming. And try not to pay attention to the crazy making voices, or just the crazy voices in your head, basically saying the world is ending. Definitely easier said than done. She also asks if I have any friends or family for help. And yes, they do. Luckily, like this wish that Nanny put on us, I've taken off Mondays, which is great because I have vacation for that. And Tuesdays, Wednesday, John and I work from home. So we're just gonna see how it goes. I don't know. Just gonna have to figure it out. And yeah, so Thursday, really the only day we need, just I think John took Friday off previously because we're going on vacation next week. So looking forward to it because I need to yeah, get away and just, I don't know, spend time with my son and family and just, yeah, forget about all this. So yes, Thursday, John's sister is coming to help us, which I'm so grateful for. I know they'll cry while I'm working, so just gonna have to balance that out. And if I can't do it, I'm gonna try to take off early and for my mental state because honestly, it's been real rough. And honestly, my employer, they're pretty understanding, so I'm very grateful for that as well. I'm very lucky. But yeah, we'll see how it goes. And yeah, pray God. Yeah, basically she says, ask for help and let, your friends and family help you. Which yeah, I definitely asked. Also, we especially need help with cooking because I'm so tired. Cooking one meal literally puts me into a 4-hour course. I don't know. I guess it's being this pregnant is what's happening, but it just makes me so tired. So this week, John's mom literally made taco salad and adobo, and I'm so grateful because both are very delicious and one of my favorite things. And it's just a relief not having to worry about food this week because what happened last night was just already put me over the tipping point. So yeah, it's just nice not to think about that. Oh, and she says you may get this opportunity to do this for someone else in the future. And yeah, because I know how it is. I know my future self would want to help someone else in the same situation because, yeah, I'm just empathetic. Honestly, I'm not a person in general. Sometimes I feel too much for other people. So, yeah, being the first one to experience this in my group, among friends and siblings, definitely quite a learning experience. And yeah, she says, be kind to yourself and you're a mom now. And being a mom in the 24/7, 365-day job, the best and worst job. She said, you will get through this. And of course, yes, we will. And she said, suddenly you'll stare eye to eye with a 4-year-old and you'll wonder what the heck happened. And yeah, he's already almost 1. So yeah, I can definitely see that. And he says also that the child's growth is one stage after another. None of them last forever, but sometimes it can feel like it does when you're in the middle of it. And that sometimes feelings are huge and liars don't always believe them. And yeah, and of course to enjoy the moment because them being a little kid's not going to last forever. One day they're going to grow up and not need you in the same ways they once did. Of course, they'll always need you in some way. But yeah, that always is a bittersweet thought. Yeah, it makes me emotional too. And it's really nice to know that people see you and understand what you're going through because, yeah, it's been hard. Like you said, I don't know a lot of other moms. I'm sure when he's a bit older, start making friends, I will. But yeah, moms in the same situation as me who are working right now. So yeah, I really appreciate that email as well as other people's messages. They've also been so nice and thoughtful. Yeah, I also wanted to message a ton of Gail. She DM'd me on Instagram and she said, hi, Elizabeth. I'm not a parent myself, but I saw your most recent post and just wanted to send you love and support. You're an amazing person and being a mom, you should also work at the same time. People definitely does. Thank you for seeing that. She says, you're doing your best right now and then help it and give yourself some grace. Bad parents don't call to family and seek support. It really takes a village to raise a kid. She says, I hope you take some time to rest. You truly deserve it. Lean on friends and support and family because you're truly not alone in this. And I believe in you and you're an amazing mom for being so brave and hardworking for yourself and family. And yeah, I think reading that reminded me that people who aren't even parents themselves can really see the struggle and believe in us. And I think that's so nice because I often see on TikTok, when moms complain about something, and most people are Gen Zs on there. They don't understand because they're not parents themselves and they often leave negative comments or comments that are just not really thoughtful. So that makes me sad. It's really nice to see that non-parents out there see us too because they know it's difficult. Yeah, so thank you for these comments. There's actually quite a few other comments, people saying lots of anxiety normal, that a lot of moms do go through this when going back to work. And yeah, just a lot of supportive comments too. So I really thank you for each and one of you who's liked your comment. I'm very appreciative. So with the science and psychology context, basically at 10 months, babies develop object permanence. And basically they realize that their caregiver still exists even if they're out of sight. So that gives them the separation anxiety. And yeah, crying and clinging and resisting new caregivers is completely normal. And yeah, research shows that returning to work for new mothers is one of the biggest stressors. It includes anxiety, guilt, day shifts, and work family conflict are also very common because you're stressed. You're oftentimes going to be fighting. And yeah, definitely had some fights. But honestly, John's been very supportive and I'm very grateful for that. So yeah, when you add society's pressure to do it all perfectly, it compounds stress and really impacts your mental health. If you're a working parent and you're juggling roles, you're not alone. Pain is very real. What we're experiencing is common, unfortunately, than we think, and especially more than what people want to admit. Millions of working moms are literally balancing two jobs at the same time. It's the paid employment and the unpaid emotional guilt of being a working mom. And yeah, a lot of moms who are working experience burnout and distress because society expects us to thrive and parent flawlessly execute at work, and it's just unrealistic. So yeah, this is my podcast with Advocate, and basically I'm just sharing my story, my journey. As always, even though it's no longer about zero waste, I want to share my story regarding parenthood, trauma, and who I am as a person and what I like to leave behind. So I appreciate that you guys are all sticking through and being so supportive as a community. I really do appreciate that. And yeah, I hope you realize through this so that you don't have to do it all and you just have to do your best, and that's really all that matters. And yeah, I hope you'll share your comments in the videos I make, and you can always message me, email me. I think it's thebottlefulladvocate@gmail.com, DM me on Instagram. And I think if we build our own village, we can feel more connected and feel a lot less alone. So yeah, I feel you, I see you, and you're not alone in this, and thank you for being here. Next. Okay, so today's sponsor is Kind Laundry. Just kidding, they're not really a sponsor, but I do have an affiliate code. Kind Laundry use natural ingredients, and it actually comes in these sheets. So much more useful than liquid laundry detergent because that stuff gets messy. With Kind Laundry, you can bring this anywhere. It's literally in a box, pack in your suitcase, and it's that easy. You can get 10% off by using code ZeroWasteCute.